Okay, we're back on record for the review and permanency planning as it relates to Austin. Ms. Stang, you're the only one we haven't had an introduction from yet.
Sorry, I apologize. I was detained in a court hearing in Monroe County. Alexis Stang on behalf of the respondent father, Austin Duby.
Thank you. And you've had a chance to talk to your client as well, I think?
Yes, I have. Thank you.
That's great. Okay, we made sure you had a copy of the court report and the opportunity to chat with you about it while we had the time to do it this afternoon. We don't always, but we did today. All right. Any preliminary comments from any of our attorneys before we get started?
Thank you.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Howard, let's go to you for your report.
Yes, sir. Are we on YouTube?
We are. Yes, we are on YouTube, so we can avoid the children's names. That would be great.
I was able to meet with both children multiple times this reporting period, most recently on January 2nd, 2026. I would say for the most part, they're doing very well in the care of their maternal aunt and uncle. When I go and meet them, they're very friendly with me, and I pretty much every time I go there, the younger of the two is always right there at the door to greet me or runs up to me and shows me whatever new toy he has. And he's just always so happy. And so, you know, he's got a very good heart. You can just tell whenever you are around him and talk with him. The older of the two is very competitive and, you know, has some of these behavior issues. He definitely seeks attention. I played air hockey with him and watched him do a word search game, and both times it was very evident he did not like to lose and or share with his other siblings or the kids in the home. But he's usually in pretty good spirits, and they all kind of run around and play together in the home. So I'd say the biggest change has been their oldest brother, who is technically their half brother, but you know, they've grown up together, and he moved out of the home. Since then, the environment has gotten better for everyone in the home, even the kids that aren't, you know, the cousins that they're placed with. So that's been more of a positive change. I spoke with the children's daycare providers, and they've seen some pretty big differences in the children's behavior at daycare since this placement back in October, and even since, you know, the oldest was moved out of the home. So all very positive, and it seems to be trending in the right direction. They are working with Miss Brene Moore for therapeutic visitation, and I'd say, you know, if we had this review maybe a few weeks ago, or maybe even towards the beginning of December, there may have been, you know, more of a move to supervised visitation from therapeutic visitation. But I do think that over the Christmas break, there was a visit, and we kind of took a step back there. But before that, parenting time was going very well. So I really believe that we can get back to that point and you know, move forward with that. The children are starting CMH. I think that the caregiver or the provider is coming into the home today to work with these two, and kind of the youngest will be around too, but she's not directly related to the CMH case. But I really think we need to focus on these two kids. They have these behavioral issues, or you know, speech or OT, PT issues that can be done, and I think there's a lot of work to be done. We have the assessments completed, and it's just about matching them up to the right services to make sure that their needs are met. And I'm hoping we can do that. The best interest of these children is definitely to remain in their current placement. They get along really well with those caregivers. They've done a great job with them and supporting them, caring for them. And you know, just providing them with some stability, and it's really showed in their behaviors at daycare or at school. And they did not share their wishes due to their age. They're both pretty young. So thank you.
Thank you. Testimony today, Ms. Thomas.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd ask that Atlas Dimick be sworn in.
You solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Thank you. Atlas, for today's hearing, you've provided a court report with a few attachments. Have there been any other documents that you've circulated outside of what's in this packet?
No.
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, are there any updates or modifications that need to be made to your report or any of the documents contained, Garen?
Yes, I was informed by Mr. Duby that he did do his intake appointment with, I believe, CMH this past Monday, and that he will be starting therapy services in a couple of weeks.
Do you know if those therapy services are directed at substance use, or is that more for just individual therapy and mental health treatment?
They are directed towards substance use.
Okay. At this time, the court report indicates that the permanency goal for the children is reunification. And what would be the barriers to reunification with Mr. Duby at this time?
At this time, the barriers to reunification include a incomplete psychological evaluation, which is scheduled for tomorrow, as well as just partial progress on the case services. Yes.
Okay. So what is the risk of harm to the children if they were to be returned to his care and custody?
Can you rephrase the question? I'm sorry. I think.
What is the risk of harm? Like, what danger would they be in if the court were to place them with their father today?
The risk of harm if the children were to be returned home. Still maintain the I'm trying to find the right words. You'll have to excuse me. The exposure of substance use due to incomplete drug screenings and partial progress of substance abuse counseling, as well as the incompletion of parenting classes and domestic violence classes that could affect the ability to safely parent children.
Were those the issues that led to the removal of the children from Mr. Duby?
Yes.
Okay. And so there hasn't been any resolution to those conditions that led to removal at this time?
Correct.
However, is Mr. Duby complying with his case service plan?
Yes.
Is he in full compliance, or are there areas in which he needs to engage a little more in?
A plan needs to be developed for drug testing to ensure that Mr. Duby is able to comply with regular drug testing. There are some concerns about transportation through the third-party referral that was made for Mr. Duby, since he currently, as far as I know, does not have his own reliable transportation at this time, and the referral is for a third-party testing facility in Jackson. So today we started exploring avenues to kind of support that and enable, give accessibility to Mr. Duby to comply with drug testing.
Thank you. Mr. Howitt had in his report discussed how parenting time was going and maybe some concerns during the holiday break. At this point in time, is there anything that you would like to add about parenting time or the plan moving forward regarding that?
Yeah, just to kind of clarify that statement, previously it was recommended by Brene Moore to do supportive visitation. Mr. Duby had 2 parenting times, I believe, with Brene Moore at that point of that recommendation, and she did not see a reason for them to be therapeutic. However, after a caregiver supervised visitation over the holiday break, Brene clarified that statement, that she would like them to remain therapeutic due to some of the concerns that were brought up at that visit. And sort of ongoing observations that Brene had in her own personal communication with Mr. Duby.
Your report indicates that perhaps there's some difficulty in communication or your relationship with Mr. Duby. Is that still the case, or is there any updates around how well you are working together?
Yes, I was able to get into contact with Mr. Duby recently, I believe towards the end of last week, to set up some transportation assistance as well as get some updates on his CMH appointment. So tentatively, it is neutral interactions with Mr. Duby at this time. And in the meantime, I have been utilizing emails in order to have both Saja and Ms. Stang present, sort of in a third-party neutral space.
In your report, there's indication that during this review period, placement had asked for replacement of the children and then rescinded that. Are there any supports that the agency has assisted placement with in order for them to maintain the children in their care?
Yes, we've worked to create a safety plan that will allow the paternal grandparents to provide transportation and assist, since the department has not been able to approve them for placement, but we have been able to approve them for transportation to medical appointments. That was a very big help for this caregiver, as that was one of the main things that, one of the main reasons of why she did not want placement anymore. Additionally, we have organized a way to provide respite care at least once a month, if not every other month, to give that family the break that they absolutely need.
Is there anything related to the children that they need, like any other referrals that need to be made or any other services they need to engage in?
Not at this time. Tentatively, we are waiting for the primary care physician to rule out ADHD for N, as well as following through on ABA therapy for B.
Is there anything else you'd like the court to know from your knowledge of the case or your report that you'd like to highlight?
Not at this time.
With that, Your Honor, I would just ask the court to admit into the record the court report that was submitted by Atlas on January 6th. Thank you.
Objections?
No, Your Honor.
No.
Thank you. They are received. Questions for this witness? Ms. Stang, we'll start with you.
Yes, thank you. With regards to the issue of the intake appointment with CMH, you testified that he should begin having therapy directed towards substance abuse in a few weeks. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay, and do we know an exact date that is set to start at this point?
That was not given to me by Mr. Duby.
Okay, but it's believed that he has a date rather than them just stating that they would call back at a later point.
From my understanding, yes.
Okay, thank you. And that it sounds like he has a psychological evaluation scheduled for tomorrow. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. and that will help with satisfying some of the mental health provisions of his case service plan, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then regarding his housing, your court report states that he is currently residing with his parents and that you're still awaiting proof of that housing. Is that accurate?
Yes, that is accurate.
What proof would you prefer Mr. Duby present to you to confirm that he is residing there?
Proof can be a lease agreement, or in the event that the parents own the home, a letter proving that they live there would be sufficient.
Okay. Is it accurate to state that you've gone to that home in the past?
Yes.
Okay. And were you able to actually enter that home when you had gone there?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Were you able to enter the home in the past when you had gone to the home?
Yes.
Okay, so to your knowledge, that would be accurate that Austin lives there with his parents based on what you viewed when you were at that home. Is that accurate?
From what I observed, yes.
Okay, so you're just requesting that some form of legal documentation showing that the parents own that home and that Austin therefore is able to be there?
Yes.
And then with regards to his employment, your court report also indicates that you are awaiting proof of his employment at Domino's. Is that still accurate?
Yes.
Okay, and would the most recent pay stubs satisfy that requirement?
Yes, it would.
Okay. And then you also indicated that Austin is currently in the process of getting his own transportation, and that's something that you're looking into resources to help him with. Is that accurate?
Transportation resources were provided.
Okay, so there's nothing further then at this point that could be done by the department to assist with securing that transportation?
Correct, to my knowledge.
Okay. And then for the drug screenings, the first referral was put in November, but there was an issue with that, and therefore a new referral was completed on December 22nd. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. And it was reported that there was a time when you had actually gone to the home and attempted to provide a drug screen to Mr. Duby. Is that also accurate?
Yes.
Did anyone answer the door when you made that attempt on that day?
No.
Okay. Are you positive that Mr. Duby was home when you made that attempt?
I am positive that someone was home. Mr. Duby did explain to me that he would be available at that time, and that he did not have work that day, so I had no reason to believe he would not be available.
Okay. What time did you make that attempt, if you recall?
It was around 12:30 p.m.
Okay. And are you aware, or I guess has Mr. Duby ever informed you of his sleeping schedule due to his employment?
Yes.
Okay. And what did he inform you with regards to that schedule?
He did say that he struggles to get up early in the mornings. So whenever in the past we've had, I've assisted with transportation, or we have had a home visit in the mornings, I would call him to try and wake him up, as well as knock on the glass door at the front of the home, which is by his bedroom.
Okay. And when you made that attempt on that day that we've been talking about for the drug screening, was that day and that specific time actually scheduled, or was that just a day and time that in other conversation had been stated that Mr. Duby would be working?
The day prior, I was doing a home visit with Mr. Duby. He said he would be available in the morning, and I said, great, I will give you a call when I have a finite time. So it was a rough estimate.
Okay. And did you make that call that you informed him you would make?
Yes, I texted him in the morning, giving a more accurate ETA of around noon. I called him when I was on my way, and I called him twice when I was at the home.
Okay, but it can't, you can't say for sure whether it was Mr. Duby who was actually home when you made that attempt, correct?
Correct, I cannot say for sure.
Okay. And then with regards to the two other, I believe, drug screenings that were attempted in this reporting period, were those attempts made by you, or was that made by a different agency giving the screenings?
That was made by a different agency giving the screenings, the instructions of which were sent to Mr. Duby prior to those screenings taking place.
Okay. And did you send those instructions via email or via text?
Via email.
Okay. Did you also send them via text, or was it just email?
The instructions were just in the email. I did send a follow-up text to Austin to look at his email because I had given some instruction for services.
Okay. And then with regards to the parenting times, are you aware of if there were any indications given to Mr. Duby that the dates of his parenting time would need to change, or if those dates were the date that were intended to continue? So when I say dates, I mean days of the week.
From my understanding, all scheduling of parenting times were communicated clearly with Mr. Duby by the therapist.
Okay. Did Mr. Duby report any concerns or issues with the parenting time date that had been set to you?
There was a brief moment where parenting times were, we were attempting to move them to Tuesdays instead of Wednesdays. Mr. Duby did explain to Renee that that did not work with his schedule. So it was changed back to a day that would work for him.
Okay, and when you say schedule, are you aware of if that would be his work schedule or any other schedule?
Work schedule.
Okay, and so then to your knowledge, the plan would be for the parenting time to stay on the days that they currently are?
Yes.
Okay. And then with regards to the parenting education classes that you referenced, was information with regards to where he would need to attend those sent to him as well already?
Yes. The phone number to call to set up parenting classes was sent via email.
Okay. At this point, do you have all signed releases for the children by Mr. Duby that you would need?
Yes.
Okay, and he provided those to you then upon request?
Yes.
Okay. What would you say would be the most important area of the case service plan that Mr. Duby needs to work the most on in the next reporting period?
I think in the next reporting period, due to Mr. Duby reporting sobriety, really focusing on getting those drug tests done in whatever way we can accommodate them being done would be the thing to focus on.
Okay. I have nothing further. Thank you.
Mr. Howell?
Yes. As far as the drug tests go, what is the current plan for having him do the drug screens?
The current plan is through forensic fluids. The instructions for that are to call every day to see if your color is called. And if it is called that day, you have until the end of the day to complete the drug test. And you would go in person to their location in Jackson and then do that drug screening then.
How far is Jackson from his current residence?
It's pretty far. It is about a 50-minute drive.
Are there other alternatives that you guys are exploring for locations to have him drug screen?
Yes, it was asked in an email correspondence if Austin would like us to do manual drug screening from the agency, since we are trained to do those during parenting times. I never received a response about that in particular. Alternatively, based on a case conference that occurred today, Brene Moore has also been open to being retrained to do the drug screenings herself as well during parenting times to ensure that they are able to be completed.
As far as the younger of the two, did he have an evaluation this past week?
Yes,
And what was the evaluation for?
the evaluation was for early on services.
Were you present at the evaluation?
Yes.
Did they have, is there any initial report or indication of what services may be available to him?
Yes, a full review of his evaluation will be done on the 21st of January. But the initial impressions that were given to me for him was definitely some speech delay and potential speech services. Otherwise, he actually performed very well during the evaluation.
What does a full review of the evaluation look like? Is it a Zoom meeting or is it done in person?
From my understanding, for them, it was an in-person meeting that was scheduled.
And the children are scheduled to start therapy with CMH today.
Yes.
Nothing further.
I noticed that the maternal, or I'm sorry, the paternal or Austin's parents were denied for purposes of caregiving and case planning. And that came through, it looks like early December. Is that accurate?
They were denied for placement, yes.
Okay. The court specifically says paternal grandmother engaged in case planning, however, has been assessed inappropriate for placement or alternate caregiving. A placement safety screening was completed and denied on 12/9/25. So can we have a copy of why that denial happened? Is there like a detailed report or something that we can look at? My concern is if he's living with them and they're denying for placement or even alternate caregiving, that being his household might be an issue that needs to be on our radar. But also secondarily for purposes of if visitation ever moved to that home.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me how you're thinking about that?
I can definitely provide a report during the next court hearing or whatever.
Thanks.
But the grandparents were initially denied placement due to CPS history, which I believe is in the process of, they are pursuing expungement of that history in order to support placement, or at least interactions with the children. Currently, it was brought up to me that Mr. Duby wants to move out, wants to get his own residence. With that understanding, we have not really considered the interactions between that due to visits being therapeutic currently, not being in the parental home, and his intentions to move out.
Is he on probation or had any interactions with law enforcement in the last report period, if you know?
I believe he was previously on probation. I believe he paid the fees that he was supposed to and completed that.
Okay. Thanks. Any redirect, recross, or questions based on my questions?
No,
No.
Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you for your testimony. You may return your seat. Okay. Any other witnesses, Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor. I would leave it to Ms. Stang if she would like to call her client. Thank you.
Ms. Stang?
Yes, I would like to call my client. Thank you.
You come on up to our witness stand, Deputy Fleener will log you in, we'll swear you in.
Raise your hand. You solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Day?
Thank you. Austin, can you please state your full name for the record?
Austin Duby.
Thank you. And you're the father of 2 of the children in this case, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And were you able to hear everything that was just testified to by the caseworker?
Yes.
And so we're going to break that down and I'm going to ask you some questions about each different area, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so with regards to your visits, it sounds like you may have had a concern previously with regards to the request to change the days of those. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
I've already switched I already requested I get Wednesdays off so I can see my kids that day. And I can't just keep going to my boss and saying, hey, I can't work this day. Hey, I can't work this day. So I mean, that's where I was at that.
Okay, but you just heard the testimony of the caseworker and it sounds like that is no longer being requested and your visits planned to be on the same days.
As far as I understand, that it should stay on Wednesday from now on.
Okay, and again, you're just requesting that stay as is due to your work schedule. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. And then with regards to your work, where are you currently employed?
I deliver. I'm a delivery driver for Domino's. Until I get a car, and then I'm going to go out and seek better employment.
Okay, and are you able then to provide proof of your pay stub to the caseworker to verify that employment?
The way I get paid is through a pay card, and I have every text message of every dollar I've ever made for the last 6 months there on my phone. For if that's sufficient proof that I get paid.
And you're able to provide that to the worker then after the hearing today?
Yeah, I can go back as far as she wants,
Okay.
all the
And
way
if,
back to July.
okay. And if she would request that your supervisor or somebody at your employment, in addition, reach out to her just to verify your employment, is that something that you'd be willing to set up as well?
Domino's number is on Google, and anybody can call, and they all know me there.
Okay, but if for some reason it needed to be a supervisor, is that something you'd be willing to talk to your supervisor about and arrange?
Yeah, I can have him call her Thursday. I work Thursday.
Okay. And then with regards to the testimony that was given for the intake at CMH, you've already had that. Is that accurate?
Yes, I attended a CMH appointment and on Monday, and this is what I wanted to bring up too, because I'll say mistaken the truth, but she mistaken the truth quite a few times during her testimony. So I have the date right here that I sent her in text message, which she's claiming I did not. That my first appointment is in 2 weeks on Monday at 1 o'clock, and that is not like a number date, no, but in 2 weeks on Monday at 1 o'clock is a click on a calendar on a phone away from figuring out.
So are you then stating that your first appointment would be on Monday, January 26th?
Yes, at 1 p.m.
Okay. And with regards to the psych evaluation, it sounds like you have that scheduled for tomorrow as well. Is that accurate?
Yes, and I did not have any idea about that until I was right there hearing it. So, I mean, I'm a little bit concerned about the communication still. I mean, it's been a problem for since it started.
Okay. Are you receiving email communication from the caseworker?
I'm getting some of the emails, but not all of the emails that I'm being told that I'm being sent. I signed the documents, the ones that said to complete and sign. I clicked on them all and I completed and I signed them. As far as like the drug testing, I don't have an email that suggests anything about drug testing. I have an email about Braxton's early on appointment, which I responded to those. So I responded to every email that I have received. And the ones that I have not responded to, I have not received.
Okay, so then you're testifying today that any email that you've ever received from the caseworker, or at least ever received in the last reporting period, you have responded to, and then the ones that you haven't responded to, it's safe to assume you did not receive those?
Yes.
Okay. With regards to the drug testing, though, we heard testimony today that it sounds like if you are willing to have the drug testing completed by the caseworker during your parenting time, or even by Brene Moore potentially, that would be a possibility. Is that something that you are agreeable to?
I've already agreed to it. I don't know why she said I didn't, but I've already said a long time ago, which is why I haven't brought anything up about it since, and I've been waiting this entire time for it. As far as drug testing, I did agree to drug test today before I leave. And then as regarding to the drug testing that she showed up to do manually, I will state that I was home, but I was sleeping. I had a text message from early in that morning, but no missed phone calls.
Okay, so you weren't avoiding that drug testing, then you just did not know that she was there and didn't
Absolutely. I did not wake up until about 1:45, 2 p.m. that day.
Okay.
Is when I actually got out of bed. I seen the text message from her and I said, oh crap. But I didn't figure, that she'd been there because I did not wake up to a door. I did not wake up to my phone ringing, nothing like that. I had 0 missed calls, but I did have a text from her that morning.
So it sounds like then moving forward, you're happy to agree to and arrange the drug testing, even if you've already agreed to it, to start on
At
that.
this point, I will go purchase my own drug tests and start bringing them in because I don't do drugs. I was 130 pound skeleton when I did drugs. I'm 200 pounds in fat right now. That's like the opposite. So
Okay.
I have no symptoms of drug use at all. So I'm okay, and I've been okay with the drug testing since the very beginning. I am just waiting.
Okay. And then you heard the testimony with regards to the documentation that is being requested to prove that your parents own the home that you're currently residing in.
I'm sorry, repeat the question. I couldn't hear you at the end.
Did you hear the testimony given by the caseworker just now with regards to you needing to provide documentation showing that your parents legally own the house that you're residing in?
I don't understand why that is like any of their concern, whether my parents own their own house or not. Where I live, maybe I can write something up saying that I live at that address, but as far as like them proving ownership of the house, I don't understand why that is necessary.
Okay, so you understand that the department is requesting proof that either if you did have your own apartment, for example, that they would need proof showing that you were actually renting that apartment, correct?
Yeah, I can show that because that's not anybody else's like private life business. But like if I'm signing a lease agreement, yeah, I can show her a lease agreement. That's no problem for me.
Okay, so you're just stating that you're concerned about being required to give legal documentation that isn't necessarily yours.
Yeah, or anything to do with the case itself. I don't understand why they're all excited about figuring out if they own their own home or not.
Okay. There was testimony given that you're looking into getting your own housing, or that's something that you're wanting to do. Is that accurate?
Yes, it is. It is in the mid future, like not near future, but like I'm working towards it. Right now I'm at the verge of getting a car, and that's step one. After that, I make more money. I make more money, I can get a place.
Okay. Are you aware of if let's say reunification did happen with your children, are they able then to be residing in the home that you're currently living in?
There's a room. There's an extra spare room. Have everything they need, food, clothes, everything that they need.
Okay. And are you aware then of if your parents, since you're living with them, they're okay with the kids living there as well if reunification occurred?
My parents love their grandkids. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
But can you answer the question I just asked you?
I don't see I don't see what the issue would be with the kids staying at the house. My whole goal is to be their dad. So.
Okay. So your parents haven't stated to you that the kids can't live with you you living here if that were the case?
No, they would not. They would not say that. No, they would never say that.
Okay. And then with regards to the releases, it sounds like you've already signed all releases requested and taken care of that, correct?
Yes, I signed all the documents sent to me for my youngest son. I completed and I signed all those documents to the point where it said, thank you for completing the document and then all that stuff. So I made sure that I finished it. And then I went through and I went back about 30 to 60 days. I don't remember exactly how far I went back, but I went back quite a bit to grab the rest of them. And then I signed what I could find.
Okay. And there was testimony given today, and there was an attachment to the court report regarding a visit that you had at the caregiver's home on December 26th. So in that letter that I'm referencing, it was stated that you had cussed at the children or cussed with the children present during those visits, that the visit wasn't appropriate. Can you elaborate on your perspective of what occurred during that visit?
Yeah, I never said a cuss word to either one of my boys. What happened was, from the finish, is Malachi was having a tantrum, and I wanted him to put something away, and he was not going to have it. And so he started throwing a fit, and I told him, okay, well, you're going to go to timeout. So I tried to put him in timeout, but he was fighting me, and he was not having that either. So Brooke suggested that I just let him be and go to a little hallway that he goes to and has his tantrums in. So I let him go, and he went into his little hallway and started punching the door. I wanted to cool down for a minute because I was a little, I have not seen Malachi portray that degree of like anxiety or whatever it was that was causing him to freak out at that time. So it was new to me too. And I collected myself and I went to him, and when I was calm, I looked at him, I said, are you okay now? And he said no. So what I did is I gave him a big hug and then I tickled him, and then he was all right after that. But the swearing thing, I told him that he was not going to freaking act like that. I did say that. I'm not going to lie. I said freaking, but I did not say an actual cuss word to my boys.
Okay. Alrighty. Is there anything else in the court report or that was testified to today with regards to this matter that you would like to elaborate on?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Repeat that one more time. I'm sorry.
Is there anything else just in general with regards to the court report that you had a chance to review before today, or with regards to the testimony that was given by the caseworker that you want to elaborate further on or give your perspective of?
Yeah, I would ask why the other two reports, the one that were under supervision of a therapeutic session, were not included. But the one bad visit and the one time that, you know, Malachi showed me behavior that he doesn't exploit all the time, but it does happen. And I'm getting ridiculed for one mistake that I made out of this whole time. When all my other parenting has gone nothing but flawless, both boys react to me well, they love me, they listen to me. They know me as dad. They want me to be their dad. They ask me if they can come live with me, and I have to tell them I'm trying. And you know what? I feel like I'm getting nowhere because I'm being attacked for the one thing I do wrong versus the 1,000 things I did right.
Okay, so you're frustrated that only maybe some of the, you know, things that have.
I just feel like a little bit of I don't know if it's because I'm the dad and I'm not the mom or what it is, but I love my kids just as much as any other parent loves their kids. I will go to war for my kids. If my kids are in danger, I don't care what the court says, I will go save them. That is just the bottom line here. So.
Okay, so you want what's best for your kids, and you are willing to do what is necessary and required of you to ensure that the kids are safe and taken care of and have a relationship with you. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. I have nothing further. Thank you.
Questions, Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Howe?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you for your testimony. May return to your seat. Any other witnesses, Ms. Stang?
No, thank you.
Okay. Anyone you'd like us to hear from, Mr. Howitt?
This. Here, where's your last name?
Yeah, Bregman.
Bregman, Ms. Bregman.
Okay, ma'am, come on up to our podium first and give us your spell your name, please. Yeah,
Okay, Abigail Bergman is my name. So, and I'm I'm his mom.
could you spell?
I'm sorry, ABIGAIL BRIGMAN, Abigail
And
Bergman.
head to our witness stand, thank you.
All right.
All right, do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Howard.
Prior to this court involvement happening, what was your relationship like with your grandchildren?
I spent tons of time with them. I felt like I was their only avenue why all the parents were in the mess they were in. For normalcy, I was picking them up on every weekend, like a normal thing for me to do. I just have been there since they were all born, since I consider my oldest is their oldest brother, who is not biologically mine, but I've been in his life for 8 years, and he is my grandson. I have pictures all over my walls. I have holidays with him. I have holidays with all my grandkids. So I don't limit that to just my biological, and I feel like I've been suppressed when I feel like I've been their avenue.
Let's see. And currently, what are you allowed to do with your grandchildren?
Nothing.
Your Honor, I'm sorry. I hate to do this, but I'm going to object to this line of testimony. I'm unsure the relevancy as it relates to the purpose of a review hearing, the progress that Mr. Duby is making on his case service plan, and the progress being made towards the goal of reunification. So I just would object on those grounds at this time.
Your Honor, from my perspective, I am in the process of evaluating or investigating Ms. Bregman as a support for placement, which there's been some instability with placement currently, and I think that she could provide support if permitted by the department.
Yes, I did see that in the court report, and also raised some questions to Atlas Dimick about that issue. So I'll allow it for limited purposes, understanding that it may affect the permanency for the children if Mr. Duby or the mother is not able to accomplish their goal of reunification. Certainly relatives and permanency will become a question. So I'm going to overrule the objection. Go ahead.
So just to clarify, currently you're not allowed to see the grandchildren or only supervised?
I believe that CPS, I want to say, they approved my husband to supervise me while I take my grandkids to their appointments, because I have a past CPS history. I did not lose my rights to my kids. I did raise my kids.
And what is your understanding of your CPS history?
What's on there that I was told that is hindering me is I did have drug usage myself in the past. I have not been dishonest with any of the court hearings that's ever come about with the parents. So I was charged with usage and then neglect with a past CPS case.
Have you attempted to obtain your CPS records?
I have asked, but I don't know if I was asking the right people, because I have asked Atlas, but I'm not sure, being a third party, that I'm asking the right people. I don't know who to ask. I don't know what avenue to go down. I don't want to go away, and I'm not going away. I love my grandkids. I love my son. I'm a huge support system. I have a really good rapport with the caregiver that has the kids now. We're really close. We talk on a daily basis. I don't know where to go. I need help, and I'm asking for help. I'm asking for the courts to hear and to give me something. My grandkids love me. And I've been around for a long time.
And then just briefly, you were at the Christmas visit. Would you say that, have you reviewed the letter that was provided in the court report? Which recollection of the visit would you say is more accurate?
I would say the letter is, I do believe that, my son has emotional things that he does need to work on. I've known that for a long time, and that's why we're sitting in the courtroom today with my, my grandkids in the balance. I don't think it's a lost cause by any means. I just think he needs that extra support system. So.
I have nothing further.
Any questions, Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Stein?
Just a few, thank you. You have a testimony with regards to your house that Austin is currently living in, correct?
Yes, he lives at my house. I don't know if I heard you right. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Do you own your house?
Yes, I do.
Okay. If it were still being requested by the department for proof of you owning that home, is that something that you'd be willing to provide to Austin so he could give that to the department?
Yes, today was the first day I learned of needing that at all. I did not know that. I would have given it to him whenever it was requested.
Okay, so that's something that you'll get to him so that he can provide that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. And then with regards to, if reunification occurs while Austin is living with you, are the children, from your perspective and your, what you'll allow in your home, are they able to live in the home with Austin if that were to occur?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I live in a 4-bedroom house and I have space. I have an empty room.
Okay.
That would be appropriate, I think. So.
Okay. I have nothing further. Thank you.
Okay, any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you for your testimony. May return your receipt.
Thank you.
Anyone else you'd like us to hear from?
No, Your Honor.
All right, let's go to closing comments, beginning with Ms. Thomas.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think at this juncture, there's some kinks that really need to get worked out, and I think it's more related to the case management component. Atlas has done a really good job of including the attorneys on her communications, on their communications with Mr. Duby. It is concerning that he's reportedly not receiving those, but the rest of us are, and that it seems at the convenient times that he's not receiving those. So I have and will instruct Atlas to include all contacts moving forward and to also make sure that there's read receipts on the emails being sent. I think at this juncture, Mr. Duby is in the beginning phases of his treatment plan, that the conditions that led to adjudication and to removal are still present, although being addressed. I would encourage him to continue to do what he's doing. And I think that a lot of the issues related to family support have already been discussed in team meetings. And I don't know how else the family can receive the support or the knowledge or education, or try to help with the understanding of what's policy, and that the children have been entrusted to the department, and that the department's policy has to govern. Unfortunately, and that differs from how families operate when they're not under the court jurisdiction or when the children are not removed. But I think that a lot of these issues are ripe for family team meetings. And I just would encourage the parties to continue to communicate and work together collaboratively, because there are a lot of children involved. The family does love all of these children and they're working very hard. And it's not convenient in any way, shape, or form to have to comply, I guess, with the oversight of the department. However, that is the situation we are in. So I'd ask the court to consider that moving forward. I think parenting time status quo until there's some demonstrated consistent progress in that area. With Ms. Moore being able to attest to that, I think that psychological evaluation will also give her some information about any other areas that might need to be worked on during their time together. Otherwise, I think Setting this for 90-day review with the other parents, review hearing would be appropriate. Thank you.
Ms. Stay?
Thank you. So I think that the record reflects that there have been some communication breakdowns during this last reporting period. There's been some errors and miscommunication with regards to some of the services being started or appropriately scheduled or referred. I think that it can be said that that is, due to no fault of just one person. I think that there's been some issues with both sides of getting things to be where they need to be, but it sounds like at this point, communication is getting back on track with everybody, and the services are, being complied with. There's things scheduled as far as psychological evaluations, and then with the intake with CMH and the therapy beginning. And I know that Austin is hoping to be able to do everything he needs to do to be able to have his kids back in his care, as he testified today. So we would request the standard review period so that we can come back and show that Austin has made significant progress in his case service plan.
Mr. Howard?
Yes, sure. I would say as far as the kids are concerned, I think they're in a really good spot right now and they're set up for services. And I would expect continued progress and improvement on that end. As far as Mr. Duby, I think he's made some strides in some areas in the communication errors, and kind of a barrier and getting something started, but I'm excited for him to get a psychological evaluation if he is available tomorrow. But I just ask that he continue to engage with Ms. Renee Moore, that she continue to have the discretion over parenting time moving forward. And I trust that at family team meetings and other avenues that we'll continue to explore other relative support to kind of ease the burden off of the caregivers. Thank you.
Thank you. The court finds all interested parties were given notice for purposes of today's first review and permanency planning hearing for Mr. Duby. I do find the goal to be appropriate. Reunification will remain the goal moving forward in the next report period. The order will also reflect reasonable efforts towards that goal have been made. The record is replete with examples of that, as well as the court report. So thank you, Atlas Dimmick, for your efforts on that. Our attorneys are also in satisfaction of their obligations. Thank you, Mr. Howitt. A couple of homework assignments for Atlas Dimmick include, of course, what we talked about on record, some of the information about the reason that Austin's parents have been denied for further involvement, we'll say, with the children. I'd also like you to make your own independent evaluation of that information. And if you feel that that the grandparents could or should be utilized more for caretaking with these two, then take it to Mr. Howard or bring it to me through Ms. Thomas so that we can expand that despite the initial barriers that you may be hitting there. Because if they are indeed well bonded as they may be to this caregiver, as well as the challenges presented to the current caregivers, I would expect that we would be able to expand that for both boys so that they could have better support moving forward. Also, I agree with Ms. Thomas that I think it would be just courtesy copies of the emails and contacts that you send out for referrals could be useful in the next report period with your court report. That being said, so I listened carefully to the testimony that you gave us today, Mr. Duby, and I think it's important to understand that questioning Ms. Dimmick, questioning the caregivers, questioning Ms. Renee Moore, and accusing a lot of other people of not having communication or being facetious or untruthful really compromises your credibility in this court, because then if something does happen, I have to wonder if it's really happening or if it isn't happening. You're better off simply taking responsibility or not saying anything at all if you're not able to accomplish the service, because there's no ground here for me to entertain that everything is everyone else's fault and no one else is telling the truth about what's happening, and you're only getting emails when you need them or want them. So don't bother with that. because it will just further undermine your credibility moving forward. And then you'll have more work to do in order to earn that credibility back, which means more work to do to earn your kids back. So go to your drug testing, go to your parenting time, do what you need to do. And take responsibility for it, or don't say anything at all if you're not able to do that. Because at the end of the day, it's not really about you, it's about what's gonna happen to your boys. And that's what I have to look at. So I hope to see more progress. I appreciate the services you are engaged in and the plans to engage in those services in the next report period. And I look forward to looking at your progress at the next court hearing. I would offer to the parties March 24th at 9 a.m. It's a Tuesday. If you're able to join us. Does that work for everyone? March 24th for our next review and permanency planning hearing.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, is there a reason to not keep it with the other parents? Is it just not available?
It's just simpler to go through them different, like it's already so long.
Understood.
The other hearing that we had yesterday took all afternoon.
Yeah.
So I would rather just make enough time so that I can hear Mr. Duby's case and hear the case for the other parents. I appreciate your enthusiasm for tackling all of the same.
Well, just
When did we set the other one for?
April 6th.
February, yeah, sorry, April 6th at 1:30.
Yeah, see, I have another case already set at 2:30 to be consolidated with the termination trial as well. So that would be a tough one to get in, I think.
Yeah, understood.
So maybe next time. All right, March 24th at 9 a.m. Unless there's any questions, that's all for today. Okay, we are on record for our first disposition review as it relates to the father, as it's been docketed. May I have the names of our participants, please?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Nicole Underwood, lawyer, guardian ad litem.
Ms. Saja Thomas, counsel for the department. Ms. Jones.
Amanda Jones from the department.
Michael McFarland, representing father. Please introduce.
Brandon Hurd, father. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you all for your patience. I know we're getting started a little bit later than scheduled. Any opening comments before we go to our LGAL for her report?
We have received and reviewed the case service plan and the court report.
I have nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Underwood, your report whenever you're ready.
Your Honor, would it be possible for me to provide my report recommendation at the end of the hearing today?
Sure.
All right, I'd just like to hear the testimony and the comments from the caseworkers.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Ms. Thomas, testimony today?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll ask Ms. Jones to be sworn in to provide her report.
All right, Ms. Jones, come on up to our witness stand.
You solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do. Okay, just a quick reminder to everyone, we are on YouTube this afternoon, so if we can avoid using the children's names, that would be great.
Thank you. Ms. Jones, as it relates to your court report, are there any updates or modifications that need to be made to it?
No, there is not.
Okay, and then were there any other documents that you've provided to the parties or any of the parties outside of that court packet?
No, there was not.
Okay. As it relates to the children's permanency goal, they are still with their non-respondent mother, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and is the goal for Mr. Hurd to be reunified with the family?
Yes.
What is the current risk of harm in allowing that to happen?
Currently, if he does have unsupervised visits, there could be a risk of harm of possible further abuse of the children.
Have there been any services started to address the issues that caused this case to open?
There has been a referral made to Brene Moore to start therapeutic visits. It was only made recently because of the no contact order. She did contact me earlier this week, I think it was yesterday, stating that she's going to reach out to the family to schedule the first appointment.
Okay. Can you please remind me if these children have had, I think one might be too young, but do we have any trauma assessments?
We do not at this time.
Is there, based on the petition, is a trauma assessment warranted at this time?
At this time, the victim might, we can certainly refer her to a trauma assessment, but at this time, they're not showing any trauma-related symptoms or anything.
Okay. Are the children receiving any of their own therapeutic interventions?
At this time, they are not.
Based on your report, it appears that Mr. Hurd is no longer receiving individual counseling, but has or should be still getting specialized counseling through probation. Can you just kind of clarify that for the record?
Yep, through his probation, he was ordered to do sex offender services. And I reached out to his probation officer last week, and he was going to put that referral in to start those services as well.
Okay. Does Ms. Moore have all of the background information, like the investigation report or any of the court reports, anything that can help her understand this family a little more?
I have not provided those with her. I did ask her if she needed any other information than just the basic that I provided her regarding how we got here. And she does know that there's court intervention. She has not stated that she wanted those, but I can provide those to her as needed.
Okay. And then just some of the has Mr. Hurd been able to obtain unemployment yet?
No, he has not.
Okay. And financially, how is he able to support himself, or is that an area that you're assisting him with?
I'm assisting him with that, and he's also been applying for employment and just has not had very good luck at finding it yet.
And as relates to the family and as a whole, do you feel that this family needs any other additional supports other than the ones that are currently in place?
At this time, I do not.
Okay. And then as relates to parenting time, I know that you mentioned there's the referral for therapeutic visits with Ms. Moore, but have there been any supervised parenting times since we were in court last?
Yes, there has. Recently, I think it was the second week of December is when the no contact order was dismissed. At that time, I did safety plan with supervised visits for our new court order that came out in December, but they have been doing supervised visits with either the mom or the paternal grandparents.
And have you done any like pop-ins just to make sure that everything is going well?
No, I have not.
Are there any reports from anyone that there might be any concerns or any change in the children's behaviors?
I have not had anybody reach out to me or state that there is. I've talked to mom and she did not state that there was any problems.
Okay. And generally, would you summarize Mr. Hurd's compliance with this case service plan as fairly well this review period?
Yes.
To the best of your knowledge, the sex offender services that probation will order, will that kind of give any information about future risks or any other services or plans that we could put into place to help safeguard the children and support the family?
Yes, it will.
Okay. And has Mr. Hurd been compliant in providing any releases of information that you've asked for?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like the court to know from your report or your knowledge of the case?
No, there's nothing else.
Okay, thank you. With that, Your Honor, I have no further questions of Ms. Jones. Would ask the court to accept the court packet. And just as a note, included are some received letters regarding the ICWA inquiries for the children.
Objection?
No objection.
Thank you. They are received. Questions, Mr. McFarland?
I do not.
Ms. Underwood?
Is there any structure to these supervised parenting times?
As in, what do you mean?
Days of the week, times of day, or is it just he could come over at any time as long as it's supervised?
Right now, there is no structure or setup plan like that, just that it is supervised. I know that the kids are in school during the day, and they do have dance afterwards. So it would just be around those schedules that they have.
Do you think it's appropriate to go from no contact to daily supervised contact without intervention from therapeutic parenting time services?
I feel it's not appropriate, but in this scenario, this is, you know, what we had to kind of do because we couldn't start the therapeutic as soon as we wanted because of the no contact order. At this time, we are going to start the therapeutic, and I can put parameters on how many days or how many hours that he does see the children.
Okay, right, I've got to interrupt. So the court order directed specifically that the parenting time was only at the discretion of the therapist for the children. And that DHS was asked to do a recommendation on parenting time. It was never my intention to simply allow the non-respondent parent that's still planning with the offending parent to simply supervise an uncapped amount of time with these children. That does not seem like a safe alternative. So to jump on some of the questions that I'm assuming Ms. Underwood is going to be asking, what safety provisions are in place in order to prevent the scenario from reoccurring that brought us into court in the first place under these parenting time plans?
So the safety plan that we have is they are supervised and they are at grandma's house. I know that. I don't know, I think there's been one or two at the apartment. But that's the only safety measures that we had.
Ms. Underwood, I'll turn it back over to you.
Yeah, I believe there was a stip in order put into place in order to accommodate some supervised time for the holidays. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so at this point, would the department be willing to set some stricter parameters and guidelines around this parenting time until therapeutic time can begin?
Yes.
Has it been considered in the case services plan that Mr. Hurd not be consuming alcohol?
Yes.
Okay, I did look at it, but I must have not seen that provision. Do you know if there's any restrictions around Mr. Hurd being near or around schools?
There is not any restrictions. I did ask that because of the location of their current residence.
Would it be appropriate for Mr. Hurd to be picking the children up from school with non-respondent mother?
If he is the ride provided to the grandparents, I don't foresee that being a problem. But as long as they're just going to the grandparents' home, that should be fine.
It was included in the stipulation in order to not have overnight parenting time, even if supervised. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Okay. Are the children seeing a counselor or have they been referred to a parenting time recommendation?
Yep, I put a referral in for Brene Moore. She was going to reach out to the family and make the first appointment with them. I have asked mom to seek out counseling. She was looking into counseling services and she was having a hard time finding places that took their insurance. So I was working with her on finding one of those and we were going to start Brene Moore and see if she could help with the counseling as well.
When was that referral made?
That referral made was last week. And Brene reached out to me on Monday and said that she received it and that she was going to call the family.
Okay. Can you help me understand why that just happened last week when our last court hearing was in October and there was an order for that referral to be made and for the parenting time to be at the discretion of a therapeutic parenting time supervisor?
Due to the no contact order, and start therapeutic visitations with the victim and Brandon when the no contact order was still intact.
Okay, and that was, you said that was mid-December?
Yep, it was a week, 2 weeks before Christmas that it got dismissed.
That helps me, thank you. All right, redirect Ms. Thomas.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Recross. Ms.
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Underwood, any additional questions?
No, Your Honor, thank you. But I guess were there issues with the insurance for the mother to receive therapy or for the children to receive therapy?
For the children.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
Thank you for your testimony. You may return to your seat.
Thank you.
Any other witnesses, Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor, I'd leave it to Mr. McFarland if his client would like to testify or give us any
Not
updates
today.
from his perspective.
Okay, any testimony from any other witnesses, Mr. McFarland, Ms. Underwood?
Not here.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Well, comments in closing then, beginning with Ms. Thomas.
Your Honor, I think that there's been a little bit of misunderstanding as to the construction or interpretation of that stipulated order that we put in right before the holidays. I think that this hearing has really helped the department understand that it was not intended to be a free-for-all. And I hope that the family can understand that. However, I don't know that we can unring the bell with how this has transpired and the children seeing their father. I look to the court and to the LJL to make a recommendation on how to proceed forward, considering that the children were kind of thrown into that parenting time with Mr. Hurd without any structure. However, it seems promising that Mr. Hurd is complying with a majority of his case service plan. He's continuing to look for employment. He has housing. He has natural supports, and he is complying with probation. Obviously, he's on probation for 5 years, and that will be monitored. And I would trust that Ms. Jones would keep in contact with that probation officer to ensure that the risks of harm are being continuously mitigated through those services. So we just ask for another 90-day review. And as it relates to parenting time, again, I would ask the court to provide us guidance and take into consideration what the LJL is recommending. Thank you.
Mr. McFarland.
Well, it's true, my client is in compliance with probation and with this case. I understand the court's concern regarding the parenting time, but my concern, we've heard testimony that the kids have not been affected. There doesn't appear to be any signs of trauma. I haven't heard any testimony that the kids do not wish to visit their father. It sounds like parenting time is going good according to the report. I hate to have the kids think that they did something wrong if the parenting time that's been established is all of a sudden ended. I can see concurrent parenting time with trauma-based and as it is right now by mother and the grandparents. And if a trauma issue arises, for them to be immediately adjusted and taken a look at. But I don't see where any harm has occurred to the children based upon the testimony. Thank you.
Mr. McFarland, maybe you can help me answer this question before I make my decision. It does not appear from the reports that I have here that he started any sex offender specific counseling or treatment programming. Is that accurate?
Let me check. No, we're waiting for the parole officer who's enrolling my client in that, Your Honor.
Ms. Underwood.
Thank you, Your Honor. I was able to meet with the children virtually yesterday as my family and I have been home with influenza going through the household. So I was able to at least meet with the children virtually yesterday after school and before extracurricular activities. The youngest child is, as usual, a ball of energy and happiness. They were both excited to show me their baby dolls that they got for Christmas and tell me about other things that they've done over the holiday break. The oldest child was excited to get back into gymnastics, which is good to see that she's still maintaining some activities outside of school. I will say that I hesitantly agreed to that step in order for the holidays because it was my understanding that there would be some structure and parameters set by the department for parenting time, and it not just be any time in which mom's around that dad can be around, or the grandparents are around that dad can be around. I do not believe it's in the best interest of the children to just have parenting time whenever mom's not at work or grandparents aren't at work and dad's available. It's essentially sweeping everything that's occurred under the rug. This child is not likely showing signs of trauma because it has not been addressed at all. There's been no trauma assessment conducted. There's been no counseling for the minor child. And then there has been no reunification therapy, which I understand why, as there was a no contact order. But I believe it's really important to set a structure for parenting time and some parameters surrounding that until we can get a recommendation from Ms. Moore, and until specifically the oldest child gets into therapy and has some time to really work through what's occurred. I understand that there's been a resolution in the criminal matter and that the no contact has been lifted, but that doesn't take away the fact that some very serious things have occurred that I have no doubt have traumatized this child in some way. Even though she's presenting to be okay, it's important to ensure that she is, and that the appropriate therapy and things have been done in order to ensure that moving forward, she is safe and this does not happen again. So I would ask the court to order some established parameters or parenting time for the children and their father until we can get a solid recommendation from Ms. Moore on what's appropriate and in the best interest of the children moving forward. Thank you.
Okay. Court finds all interested parties were given notice for purposes of today's review hearing. There are certainly efforts being made towards reunification. I too have significant concerns about the parenting time that's being offered in this case. One of the children was a victim in this case. The older child was a victim. She's not in counseling. She's not had a parenting time assessment. Yes, I have all the same concerns that the guardian ad litem has expressed, as well as concerns that the court order, which asked for the children to be referred for counseling and assessment and trauma services immediately, wasn't addressed until last week. So I think that Ms. Jones has got her homework figured out for her today. And I appreciate that the department is listening and will be listening moving forward because there needs to be some safety precautions in place to allow for the treatment and recovery of the child victim in this case, as well as an understanding by Mr. Hurd that he needs to really take these reunification efforts seriously. He's not to be in the home where these children are. He's not to be in any of the family homes where the children are. He's not to have any parenting time until he is engaged in sex offender specific treatment. And there will be no parenting time outside of the therapeutic setting for these two children until and unless Brene Moore authorizes an increase in that. I am also ordering a trauma assessment for both children. And if the younger child is too young for that, then I would expect something from the Trauma Assessment Center letting us know that, but especially for the older child to identify those services that she may need in order to start processing her own trauma from what she was subject to. Any questions about the parenting time? Ms. Jones?
Nope.
So as I'm understanding, parenting time is only to be therapeutic at the discretion of Brene Moore. Is that what I'm hearing you on?
Yes.
And after
only,
my
yes.
client has begun the sex offender classes, correct?
Yes, it's imperative that he begins those. My understanding is that last time we were here, he had taken the plea on that. and has begun some individual counseling, but it's very imperative to understand that he's taking the piece of his recovery seriously and to safeguard the child.
Understood.
Okay, the children will remain placed with Felicia Hurd for now, assuming that she's able to follow those rules and regulations around parenting time and express an understanding of what needs to happen in order to keep her children safe. And we'll set a 90-day review. Leaving alone the goal of reunification at this time to see how Mr. Hurd progresses in the next 90 days. So we'll go into April for our next review.
7th through the 15th, I'm gone.
So you're back the 16th and the 17th then?
Correct. Can't believe we're talking about it.
Wait, 9 days. All right, so Ms. Underwood, you're here the last week of April. So if I set something for March 31st, you'll be available?
Let me check, Judge. I know I'm out, I
Which
believe.
week are you out?
I'm out the last week of March, but I think we're back by the 31st.
Yes, I think
Yep.
you're out the week.
Yep, I'm out the week prior.
Okay, so we'll set this for March 31st then at 1:30 p.m. Will be our second review and permanency planning hearing. And I will work on this order. I'll have it for everyone in a few minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Sorry about the
Judge.
misunderstanding on parenting time. I'm used to the department being a lot more cautious than I would. Some surprises here, but I think we'll be back on track shortly. All right, we are on record for a review of this guardianship. We were awaiting developments from the court in Pennsylvania. I've received a document that's been circulated to the attorneys today and will be part of the court's file moving forward. In Pennsylvania, case number 25-1525. It is a notice of entry of court order entered in the Court of Common Pleas of Northampton County, Pennsylvania, Orphans Court Division, which indicates the order recognizes on December 1st the order of the probate court appointing Tanya Garen as plenary guardian of the person in estate of Ellie Garen and appointing Patrick Garen as standby is registered in the Court of Common Pleas of Northampton County Orphans Court Division. And indicates further, the registered order shall have the same full force and effect as a Pennsylvania guardianship order. And a copy is attached. There, I would note also there's attached a copy of the psychological evaluation performed by Michelle Liska in this case. It was used to establish the guardianship in Michigan. The letters of authority have been attached. And the order finally indicates the guardian may exercise in Pennsylvania all powers authorized by the Michigan order, subject to Pennsylvania law. We have the names of our participants.
Beginning of the courtroom, Michael McFarland, attorney guardian ad litem.
Macy Moore, foster care worker with Catholic Charities.
Yes, and you're here because of your involvement with Ellie's child in case 25-061NA.
Yes.
Thank you.
Peter Winter, Your Honor. I thought Mr. Amadeo was on, but I'm substituting for him on behalf of Ms. Garen, I believe.
Thank you. And the Garens, if you could introduce yourselves, please.
Ellie Garen, Ellie's mom. And Tanya Garen, mother and guardian of Ellie Garen.
Thank you.
I am prepared to give a verbal GAO report when the court wishes.
Proceed it will.
Thank you. Your Honor, I have received, as the court said, an order of the court from Pennsylvania. It does not appear to be a guardianship order, but it's basically acknowledging that what exists here in Lenawee, that the state of Pennsylvania will give recognition to, and that Pennsylvania will only authorize anything subject to the Michigan court order. I also would ask the court to take judicial notice of a letter we received from the County of Northampton Children's, Youth, and Family Services Division, or Families Division. They were asked to do an interstate study, and they did not approve Ellie being with Tanya and Patrick Garen. Apparently, their standards are different than ours, and because they still would reside in a home with Ellie, that was not appropriate under their guidelines and standards, but not necessarily Michigan's. But what is more important to me is a statement that they said the state of Michigan should further assess the relationship between Tanya Garen and her daughter, Ellie Garen. Is there documentation provided to this agency that indicated prior domestic violence and mental health concerns for both individuals? And went on to say that Tanya Garen may not have been fully transparent in her health diagnosis. And there is perhaps some resistance to providing documentation to that, as well as some medical records that appear to be omitted. So, and I just received this today, Your Honor. So I'm asking for an adjournment so I can question everybody involved regarding what the findings were from the state of Pennsylvania to see if that's an issue here or not. So that leaves questions unanswered to me. So.
Mr. Winter, you have a copy of that letter as well. Mr. McFarland, are you moving to have that, or would you like to have that as part of our guardianship?
I would. I'd ask the court to take judicial notice of that, Your Honor, and have that as an exhibit along with the order of the court, which I think the court already has.
Thank you. Any objections, Mr. Winter?
No, Your Honor.
Very well. I will receive that letter also then. It was entered in case 25-061 NA for those proceedings. So we'll make sure a copy of that also makes it into the guardianship file. Your response to the request to adjourn, Mr. Winter?
No, I have no objection to it. I would just make the court aware that I've done a little research on Pennsylvania law, and I think that this notice of entry and the way the order is worded, it basically is a recognition and transfer of the Michigan guardianship. I know we're going to have a formal, more formal opinion than that, but in just a brief look at the law, that's what it looks like.
Thank you for that. I can't say I entirely agree with that assessment. Simply based on the language of the order that I've reviewed today, it does appear, frankly, that the language in the order from Pennsylvania is contingent on the Michigan order. So I have concern that terminating the jurisdiction of the court in Michigan would terminate the guardianship authority in Pennsylvania. But I'm interested in allowing you to bring me anything further that you may find on that, as well as to allow Mr. McFarland to conduct his investigation as to whether or not the guardianship remains appropriate, the suitability of the guardian remains appropriate. The evaluation conducted by Ms. Liska did not explore any of that. These are new issues that were raised as a result of the ancillary investigation by the equivalent Department of Health and Human Services in Pennsylvania through a placement request for a child to be placed in that home that was denied. And I do think Mr. McFarland is right that may reflect on the suitability of the guardians to continue serving in the Michigan case. And if the Michigan case is what the Pennsylvania case is built on, then I think we do have a responsibility to investigate those issues. I agree with Mr. McFarland. So I'm going to set this out as requested, simply to be heard along with the other hearings in the abuse and neglect case that have already been scheduled, since there is such an overlap in these cases, for April 6th at 9 a.m. Unless there's any questions, that's all for today.
Your Honor, could I ask Ms. Garen to call my office to schedule a telephone conference?
Yes. Would you like to speak with Kelly?
Yeah, I'll talk to both of you individually, then together.
Sure.
That'd be fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have you have your husband available also? That'd be helpful.
Yes, he's here as well.
Okay, thanks. It won't be today though. Well, we've been here for some time. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Could we also ask that Ms. Garen provide us with any copies of documents that were filed with the Ohio, Pennsylvania Offense Court? I have contacted the court, and
Yes.
those documents are not public record. So we have the order, we don't have the underlying petition or documents that were filed upon which it was based. And so if Ms. Garen could provide that to us, that'd be great.
Yes, I can do that. I will say that it's the same exact documentation that was provided for the guardianship in Michigan. It was the accounts of the assessment from Miss Liska, as well as a former assessment done out here in Northampton County by neuropsychologist Dan Medler that I had also provided out in Michigan. But if you would like me to resend those, I certainly can.
Yeah, what I think we should have is copies of any court papers that you filed resulting in the appointment. There's a petition or something that you filed to get this started.
Sure, I can send that to you.
Thank you.
Yes, if you could send.
I
it
already
to-
have a copy of that, Your Honor. That was provided last time, the petition. That's what we confirmed that there was a court date.
Right,
I have that.
okay, all right. Well, we'll talk to you all about this in April. Did you have a question, Ms. Garen?
I do, because I know that it had stated in the documentation from the county that we reside in, Northampton, regarding the ICPC and allegations that I was not forthcoming in sharing information, and I was resistant to sharing information, and something about a domestic relationship with Ellie and I don't really know what they were implying there. Can I provide to you my doctor's name, whom I've been under his care for my mental health for many years, so that he could provide a statement, which he did provide for the ICPC. So this is all just kind of a shock to me, to be honest, that there's any sort of question regarding my own well-being and capabilities.
Your Honor, I have no objection. She provides a release for me to talk to the doctor, and that will be incorporated in my report.
Yeah, Ms. Garen, we're counting on you communicating with Mr. McFarland and Mr. Winter between now and when we come back in April to supply lots of information, including things like that, so that you do have a chance to really show us, you know, what's happening there, so that we can make the best decision for your daughter moving forward.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, what time was the hearing on April 6th? This is continued until?
I would reserve 9 to 11, please.
Okay.
We appreciate your office being part of the hearings on both files, since there's such an overlap.
Well, I'm just standing in for Mr. Amadeo, but I don't know which one of us will be here, but one of us will be.
Great, we appreciate it. Any other questions?
Well, thank you.